Hi all, welcome to the POLCO Minute, where you hear the latest best practices and news in local government and civic engagement. I'm Angelica Waddell with this week's headlines. We begin today with a look at how city leaders in Rochester, Minnesota are maximizing engagement and eliminating silos. Their secret to success has been reducing multiple disjointed community engagement apps, tools, and data sources in favor of one organized platform that is accessible across departments. Instead of a patchwork of software, Rochester has opted for one streamlined engagement strategy with POLCO. Writing for National League of Cities City Speak, POLCO's Jen Aceto recently interviewed Jenna Bowman, the Communications and Engagement Manager for the City of Rochester. Bowman says that the city has been using POLCO to conduct online resident surveys for the past 2 years. City surveys span departments and topics and help leaders focus on the most important issues facing their community. Topics include equity and inclusion, COVID-19 impacts, sustainability, speed limits, splash pads, public transit, downtown waterfront planning, and more. And Bowman reports an increasing awareness of the engagement tool, both internally and externally. The city now has over 2,000 registered users on the POLCO platform. With in-person events not yet returning, Bowman says POLCO is helping their leaders continue to gather consistent feedback from residents. POLCO's online tools have also helped officials recognize a gap to address, as far as who in the community is and is not using the platform. The city is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and survey results are helping them identify and reach out to their hard-to-reach populations. And rather than having each department collect its own public opinion data, the city collaborates internally to coordinate survey development and outreach. Each department can access the results on the platform and get the input they need to make data-driven decisions that will better serve their community. Next, we're going to learn some tips for creating great survey questions. Michelle Kobayashi is the Senior Vice President of Innovation for POLCO and our National Research Center team. She has spent the last 30 years helping local governments, special districts, and other public entities get the most out of their public opinion and survey research. Kobayashi is also the co-creator of the nation's preferred resident survey, the National Community Survey, or the NCS as we like to call it. So when it comes to writing great surveys, she has some excellent advice to share with you. So first of all, Kobayashi says that the most successful local governments engage residents at all stages of the decision-making process. Include residents in identifying the issues that matter most to them and in prioritizing all the possible solutions. Then, once actions have been implemented, engage with residents to evaluate whether or not the work you did had the impact you intended. It's also essential to keep things easy for the person taking the survey. Keep questions simple. Keep literacy requirements low, and save any sensitive or more difficult questions for the end of the survey. If questions are too complicated, response rates will drop and community representation will decrease. So try to keep survey questions neutral. Remember that a good survey question is not a marketing platform. You'll want your results to reflect honest, unbiased responses. Be concise. Don't use jargon, and focus on just one topic per question. It's also pivotal that you thoroughly think through your questions to make sure you haven't missed any necessary response option. For this, many experts often recommend offering a scale with 5-word options, including a don't know. Labeling with words removes the confusion that numbers can cause. And offering an unsure or I don't know option is a great way to keep responses honest if there is a question that the resident feels they can't answer. And one final tip from Kobayashi, pilot test your survey questions and make sure that they're straightforward and easily understood. Get feedback on how user-friendly the questions are before you send them out to the larger community. And we wrap up this episode with an article from performance coach Zach Blakeney. Blakeney insists that intention is the fuel behind great habits, not motivation. You weren't born with motivation, he says, and motivation is not what is fueling the high performers we see who are constantly in motion. People intend to do things all of the time. We intend to exercise more, or we intend to eat healthier, but intention alone is obviously not enough, at least not for me. According to Blakeney, the intention must be accompanied by personal accountability and specific goals. This means that our intentions need to be put in a framework of measurable and defined expectations. Blakeney calls this his intention-action alignment method and says that implementing this tactic can be as simple as using well-placed sticky notes. He uses the example of struggling with eating unhealthy snacks at night that are derailing your personal health goals. In response, you would place a sticky note on your pantry. It should read something like this: I will not eat unhealthy foods from the pantry on Monday after 8 p.m. That may sound silly, but placing these statements of intention in your danger zones can go a long way towards modifying your habits. It can take anywhere between 18 and 254 days for you to form a new habit, and 66 days for a new action to become automatic. But by setting authentic intentions and writing down detailed but simple plans, creating new habits could happen with the help of a few well-placed Post-its. Thanks for watching the Polco Minute with me. My name is Angelica Waddell, Director of Communications at Polco National Research Center. Polco makes it easy for local governments to get accurate and reliable feedback from their communities. How are you keeping up with today's engagement issues and trends? Join a panel discussion with other local government leaders and us nationwide. Connect with me on LinkedIn or send us a note at polco.us/contact to let us know if you're in. See you next time.